as Mitch and Cody arrive at the secluded cabin deep within the Kentucky Appalachian woods. Silence presses down around them. The darkness stretches thick and endless, as if the trees themselves are keeping secrets. The cruiser's headlights slice through the blackness, illuminating a small, decaying cabin in the middle of the woods. The front door is cracked open, claw marks gouged into the frame and splintering the wood. Cody glances at Mitch, his jaw tight, his eyes betraying the anger he tries to bury. For years, he's held a grudge against Mitch, the cop who he believes had a hand in his older brother's death. Mitch notices the look and sighs, thinking Cody just doesn't like him for reasons he'll never understand. They've barely exchanged words all night, but now they're thrust into a situation that demands complete focus. He signals with a nod to Cody, who responds reluctantly, clutching his flashlight and sidearm with white-knuckled hands. "Dispatch, we're at the location. Front door's damaged. Possible break-in." Mitch speaks into his radio. Static. The radio crackles, but there's no response. "We're going in to investigate." Still nothing. He lowers the radio and gives Cody a wary look. "Looks like we're on our own." They step onto the creaking porch, their boots making the only sound in the oppressive quiet. The smell hits them as soon as they step inside. Thick, metallic, and sour. Blood. The narrow hallway ahead is dimly lit by the moonlight filtering through shattered windows, casting strange shadows on the walls. They shine their flashlights ahead, illuminating the overturned furniture and scratches etched deep into the walls and floor. A faint sound catches their attention from below, a wheezing, labored breath coming from the basement. The hairs on the back of Cody's neck prick up, despite the years of animosity he's harbored toward Mitch. He can't deny the prickling sense of dread creeping up his spine. His brother had lived his life on the edge, towing the line between danger and lawlessness. Cody wonders if he's about to end up like him, facing the unknown, out of his depth. "Help, please, it's still here," a voice whispers from below. The words send a shiver down both officers' spines. Mitch glances at Cody, raising an eyebrow. "Basement?" Cody nods reluctantly, wiping a thin sheen of sweat from his forehead. He takes a deep breath, steadying himself, and gestures for Mitch to go first. He follows, his grip on his weapon tightening with every creak of the stairs beneath their boots. The basement is pitch black, and their flashlights barely illuminate the dense darkness pressing in around them. Dust particles float in the air, adding a surreal edge to the scene as they finally find the source of the voice. An old man, slumped against the wall, his body riddled with slashes, his breathing shallow. "Sir," Mitch says, keeping his voice low, "can you tell us what happened?" "It's still here," the old man gasps, his voice a thin, desperate whisper. His eyes flicker over to a darkened corner, wild with fear. It wasn't human. It came out of nowhere, clawed through the walls like they were paper. The words barely leave his lips when a low growl rumbles through the basement, making the floorboards tremble beneath their feet. Cody swings his flashlight toward the corner, catching a flash of movement. A pair of eyes, burning red and fiercely intelligent, lock onto them from the darkness. The creature stands slowly, its massive form emerging into the flashlight beam. It's something straight out of a nightmare, a massive, hulking beast that's part wolf, part man, with matted fur and elongated limbs. Its mouth, dripping with blood, twists into a snarl as it bares razor-sharp fangs. Cody's breath catches in his throat. This is it. The creature whispered about in town lore, the one locals call the Lunar Stalker, an ancient, vengeful spirit set to stalk the mountains under a full moon, killing anyone who strays too far into its territory. "Back up slowly," Mitch mutters to Cody, his voice strained but steady. They start to move, each step backward, feeling like an eternity. Just as they reach the first step of the staircase, the creature lunges forward with a bone-chilling snarl. Mitch fires, the gunshots deafening in the confined space. The bullets seem to only graze its thick hide, barely slowing it down. Cody, breathing hard, joins in, unloading round after round, but the creature keeps coming. Each shot they fire barely makes it flinch, and it retaliates with a swipe of its massive claws, striking Cody across the arm and sending him crashing against the wall. "Cody," Mitch yells, but his focus quickly returns to the creature. He fires again, stepping back up the stairs while keeping his aim steady, trying to draw its attention away from his wounded partner. Cody, gritting his teeth against the pain, scrambles to his feet, blood seeping from a long gash across his arm. Together, they retreat up the stairs, finally bursting back into the main room. They slam the basement door shut behind them, but the creature doesn't give them a moment's respite. A fierce howl echoes from below, and the door shudders under the force of the beast's charge. It's only a matter of time before it breaks through. "We can't outrun this thing, can we?" Cody says, his voice a mixture of fear and frustration. Mitch shakes his head, reloading his weapon. "Not unless we bring it down." The beast's claws tear through the door, splintering it as it bursts into the main room, its red eyes glowing with rage. The creature circles them, a predator toying with its prey, savoring the hunt. Cody's mind races, but amid the chaos, his grudge against Mitch fades away, replaced by a raw survival instinct. Years of unresolved anger dissolve in the face of a common enemy. Mitch, catching his breath, looks over at Cody. "Whatever beef we've got, we leave it here. You understand?" Cody nods, breathing heavily, eyes locked on the creature. "Yeah, let's take this thing down." The beast growls, launching itself at them again. Cody grabs a heavy iron poker from the fireplace, wielding it like a spear. As the creature leaps, he swings with all his might, driving the iron rod into its side. The beast lets out a furious, ear-piercing howl as the metal sizzles against its flesh, steam rising as if burned by an unseen fire. "It's working," Mitch shouts. He takes aim, his hands steady, and fires directly at the creature's head, aiming for its eyes. A bullet strikes one of its burning red eyes, and the creature staggers, clawing at its face in rage and pain. Seizing the opportunity, Cody drives the iron poker deeper into the creature's side, pushing it with all the strength he can muster. The monster thrashes, blood spilling from its wounds as it lets out one final, deafening howl. Its massive form collapses to the floor, twitching, its chest heaving as it lets out a last, shuddering breath. The silence that follows is thick and heavy, broken only by the officer's ragged breathing. They stare down at the fallen creature, its once mighty form now reduced to a lifeless, twisted carcass. Cody, still holding the iron poker, releases it, his hands trembling. Mitch looks at him, a newfound respect in his gaze. "You okay?" Cody nods, his hand still pressed against the bleeding wound on his arm. "Yeah, thanks to you." They stand there for a long moment, the reality of what they've just faced sinking in. Eventually, Mitch breaks the silence. "You know, you saved my life back there, Cody. Whatever happened with your brother, I tried to help him, even though it didn't turn out the way I hoped." Cody nods slowly, meeting Mitch's gaze. The resentment that's festered for years seems to lift, replaced by something else, understanding, maybe even forgiveness. "I know, and I know he made his own choices. Maybe I've been blaming the wrong person." As they leave the cabin, backup arrives. "A little too late," Mitch says sarcastically, as dawn begins to break over the Appalachian mountains, painting the forest in shades of pink and orange. The officers are questioned about what happened. Eventually, they are ordered to go back to the station for additional questioning. The air feels lighter, and the two officers share a silent nod, an acknowledgement of the bond forged in battle. As they reach the cruiser, Cody glances back at the cabin, then at Mitch. "Think anyone's going to believe us?" Mitch smirks, wiping the sweat and blood from his brow. "Well, there's a body to prove it. The supervisor said they only found the old man." Cody says, still in disbelief. "Doesn't matter. We know what happened, and so does the old man. We'll get through this, and if anything like that ever shows up again." Mitch glances at Cody, a hint of a smile. "I know who I'd want watching my back." dawn begins to break over the Appalachian mountains, painting the forest in shades of pink and orange. They drive back to town in silence, the grudges and bitterness left behind with the ashes of the creature. The Appalachian woods remain still, but both officers know that beneath the surface, shadows continue to lurk, waiting for the next unfortunate soul who dares to wander too far into the dark.